It's Perfectly Queer with It Gets Better.
I'm just looking at the remote video. Hey, y'all, welcome to... We're so excited that you're here. We have such a great episode for you. It's the Pride music episode. Yes, welcome to Perfectly Queer with the It Gets Better project. I'm Ever, your resident non-binary butch, here to help you feel celebrated.
And I am Taylor. I am your semi-friendly neighborhood chaos bisexual, here to help you spark joy.
And together, we are here to help you live your boldest, most authentic life.
Period. And to build community and support within each other and with us on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon / evening / morning / wherever you are day. Wherever you are in the world today. And there's a lot of you actually here to chat. A lot of you here.
Yeah, y'all are blowing up the chat. Look, we are here. Like, we all know that the world can be a lot. We are here to help you make sense of it. And again, like I said, we are talking Pride music, like Calle y Poché fans in the house. Y'all are making some noise right now.
They're rolling deep. I'm
loving this.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Go Me 18, popping it off right at the beginning. Hello. Thank you for joining.
Oh, they already want to see them. Hi, Daniela.
I know, they're like, okay, where they at? TikTok. Jaylenas, I love the rainbow emojis, please. Yes, listen, if y'all like something in the chat, throw up those rainbow emojis. Let's get it going. Let's have a party.
Yes, it's the Pride episodes, baby.
Uh-oh, mom and dad are checking in.
Oh my gosh. Hi, mom. Oh my God.
Is that your mom and dad?
Yeah, those are my parents.
If you're joining, we are here for Taylor's mom and dad.
This whole show is for them, actually. No. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We're gonna go through our quick little show rundown and then we'll get right into it. So as you guys know, we did 2 great interviews, one with Calle y Poché, and then we also did one with mxmtoon. So we have both of those. Yeah, Calle y Poché will be first, and then we'll go into mxmtoon. But in between there, we're going to do our Queer Current news segment as well.
After our interview with mxmtoon, we've got the Converse Quick Hit, looking at odds, ends, and trends from all over the internet. And we're going to keep these music vibes going into Queerly Creative. We've got a new music video introduced by Zolita herself, who is dropping by to see us on July 6th.
And we're going to be listening to their new single, or seeing their new video single in September, which is amazing. You guys are going to love it. And then we're going to go into our Let's Talk About It section, where we answer questions that you guys have for us, how to navigate this queer life, how we would navigate this queer life. And then we're going to go into Thriving and Enliven with It Gets Better Project. We have some fabulous collaborative videos with them and Freeform, so that'll be really, really cool.
And, you know, before we get started, we have to give a moment and thank our incredible sponsors, the Humble Bundle community. Perfectly Queer is made possible with Humble Bundle's community's generous support. So thank you so much, Humble Bundle community. And y'all, let's get comfy. Excuse me, I'm so excited that my mind is thinking faster than my mouth. Let's get comfy, settle in, and get this conversation started. First up, it's Friends of the Family with Calle y Poché.
So this is a great interview that we did with them. They are such sweet girls and such like accomplished young people, kind of like navigating music and YouTube and book writing.
They write.
Horseback riding. Like they are really impressive people. It was so great to meet them.
And so kind and generous with their time. I was like, thank y'all for like talking to us and like fitting us in your busy schedule. And they made it. They were just so welcoming and kind.
Just like their fan base in the chat. They're like popping off. Wow. I think that we should just give the people what they want. So here's the interview with Calle y Poché.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being on the show, y'all. Super excited to have you. So the first thing we do is we start with our names and pronouns. I'm Ever, I go by they, them.
I'm Taylor, I go by she, her.
I'm Daniela.
What?
I'm not Daniela. Maria. I'm gonna get confused because of your camera. My name is Maria, and I go by her and she.
And I'm Daniela, and I go by her and she.
Fabulous. Wonderful. It's so great to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us, taking time out of your incredibly busy schedules, because y'all are movers and shakers. You really move around so often. And also happy Pride Month.
Happy
Are
Pride
you guys
Month.
doing anything like
Happy
fun
Pride
to
Month.
celebrate? Yeah.
I love it. I think, what are we going to do to celebrate Pride?
I don't know, because we're going to be at VidCon, actually, the night of Pride. So I think we'll definitely be doing something exciting. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty excited about it.
Love that. I love that. Love that for you guys.
So y'all like do like everything. You have your musicians from writing a book. Like you have a new book called CS Contigo, correct? Is that the correct pronunciation?
Almost, yes. It's CCS Contigo.
CCS Contigo. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Like, how do y'all find the time? Because we were just chatting that you flew in from New York and now you're in Florida. How do you find time to do all of this?
I think we try to balance everything out, like to have time for ourselves, to have time to create this new project. And when you're saying about the book and the music and everything, like we are always in constant search for new projects. And it's I don't know how, what would you say?
I would love to say we have like a perfect balance for doing everything, but we actually try to, but it's like super difficult to find a balance, like in life, you know. Like just balancing life. I think it's difficult, but I think we've been managing to like do okay at trying to balance stuff and do everything we just want to do.
I would say you're doing great.
I would say
I would say you're doing amazing, actually.
How do y'all like find inspiration? Like, how do you continuously find new avenues or new ways to create art? Like, what is inspiring y'all currently?
I think for me, just like I find small things really inspiring. Like just I love seeing sunsets or sunrise or like just life in general, or like this little experience I can have like in my relationship, or when, as I was telling you before we started, I was today I was in my horse riding lesson, and those like small things I just get really, they excite me a lot.
In my case, I think I find inspiration in growth itself. Like I try to find new ways of expanding myself. In when it comes to my job, or when it comes to my relationship or my friendships or my relationship with myself. So I think growth as itself, it's really inspiring for me. Art inspires me to create more art. And also connections, like you inspire me, and my friends and people and love, it's like the biggest source, as you said.
That leads really well into our next question, is like, you guys are really famous for not really ignoring negativity, but in a way like flipping it and turning it into like a way that you can express self-love and self-improvement and things like that. And so I'm wondering like what your biggest lesson has been in order to learn how to do that, in order to turn negativity into like a learning experience for yourselves or for your audiences and things like that.
I would say that the main lesson is that negativity is always there. Like you're going to find that type of energy everywhere you go, no matter what. And especially in this job of ours, that it's like super exposing. So yeah, what we have been doing is like to try to use that as a matter to create something better with it, like to use it in a way that helps us grow and feel better about ourselves and laugh about ourselves, as we did in our Roast Yourself challenge, than to let it take our power away.
Yeah.
So that
Oh, I love
maybe.
that.
What would you say?
Yeah, I think for me that's also the biggest lesson, and to not like do not engage with this negativity, or like try really hard to do not engage with these people, because they're always gonna be there. They are always going to find like a way or a thing or just something to say, so they're not going away. So just like find peace with it. Like it's okay. Like I'm not going to let you take my power away because you think that you don't even know me. So just be you, and you think whatever you want. I'll be happy here, living my life, doing whatever makes me happy. So I think that's like the biggest lesson, and it's difficult because exactly the negativity is not going away. So sometimes it's a little bit tricky, but I think that's the biggest lesson. Do not engage with those people.
I think that's like really good to like hear too, and to remind ourselves like sometimes it is difficult. So it's like continuously learning how to be patient with yourself. I think that's a beautiful gift. Like exactly what you're saying. Like
I love that.
they're going to think whatever they're going to think, but you can live your own life. Like you can live in the happiness. Like I love that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Protect your peace.
exactly.
Protect your
Protect your peace.
Yes, Taylor.
Yeah. Do not engage with those people. They're not going away. So they're always gonna
Right.
find a way to say something bad about you, or they just need to get a life. So the only thing we can do is like be in charge of our own and be happy with whatever we're doing. So
What have you learned? Like, what advice would you give your younger self, or maybe to people, younger people of what you've learned being this multi-hyphenated artist? Like, what is something you wish you knew then that you know now?
I think society makes us believe that we need to do just one thing, or that's like the whole thing you are. And my advice would be like to be able to just experiment. And in our case, it's like we do not have to fit in what society says
yeah,
we should. So I would say that, and also like to feel passionate about being yourself and just live life, whatever that looks like.
yeah.
What's your work dynamic as friends, and like,
what kind of advice would you give to other collaboratives and other like friends that are collaborating, especially on such like a big scale that you're both are pursuing and doing?
In our case, it's a little bit more confusing since we are a couple. So managing like our times has been really challenging.
Yeah.
Like it has always been like this challenge, but I don't know, like we just flow. Like we feel like today should be a day we take for ourselves and we should not use social media that much, or maybe today we feel like creating content. So we are not the type of person that have like this super strict schedule.
Yeah, no.
We try to really flow, and we of course have like things planned,
Yeah.
but we try to make it supernatural.
That's the good thing, that we are like our own bosses, so we can do like whatever we want to do like in the day. And also like just to be, for example, when you said friendship and everything, like I think for some people in this industry, they can get really like just focus on work and do not see like just go like this and do not see to the sides. And it's really important to like just, since you have your phone, use it like to just reach out to your friends, maybe to FaceTime or do something that also connects with people, because you can be online all the time and like connecting with the people who is looking at our videos and everything, but you cannot lose this connection with the people you love, because that's like really, or for me it's really important. And I think it's really easy to just get lost in work and just be like this. So just use your phone not only for social media but also to connect with people.
That was a very thoughtful response, though. But now we're going to move into something completely different. We have this wonderful segment on our show that we like to call Canonically Queer.
Canonically queer.
This is a segment that we have on our show called Canonically Clear, where we like to ask our wonderful, beautiful guests who have spent so much of their time and their grace with us, what the queerest thing in their home is. So we're going to ask you, what do you think the queerest thing in y'all's current living situation is?
I don't know if it's the queerest, but I think it's pretty queer. And I brought it here. It's like a prism oracle. It's beautiful.
It's a rainbow.
We love like.
Oh, is that a tarot deck?
Yeah, like tarot readings and
oh, that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, please.
It's like colorful.
It's a rainbow. It's really queer. I love it.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And
I think it would be.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen
just
that
have
before.
a lot of rainbow things around the house, like random stuff. Yeah.
But I think this
That's
one
amazing.
is my favorite.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think tarot is like a very queer activity. Like every queer person that I know has dabbled in tarot.
It's really fun. And also a really queer thing, I think it's really queer. That sounds weird. But just asking people what their sign is, like I do that all the time. Everyone, like a person comes here in the house and I'm like, okay, what's your sign?
Right.
All the time.
It should be name, pronoun, zodiac sign. Name, pronoun, zodiac sign.
It's important.
I think Tayler and I are going to say the same thing. Like, thank y'all so much for joining us on the Pride Music Edition. Like, when we found out y'all were coming on, we were like, super stoked. So thank you again for joining us. And is there like, any projects that you have coming up that you're excited about? Anything that you're currently focusing on that you can't wait to release or maybe has been released?
We currently have our own podcast, which is called Bilateral.
Yeah.
Bilateral in Spanish, and it's a Spotify original. So we are super excited about it, and we are working a lot on it. And yeah, that's it. And then there are a lot of projects coming that are super exciting, but that are secret.
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know if I can say this.
No,
maybe not.
Probably,
But
if you're
no,
wondering,
but where?
probably
But
you
I'm
can.
just not. I'm not saying what. I'm just saying maybe we'll have like something to say in Bitcoin. Something really cool. Maybe
Well,
we're trying to push it really hard so we can say something at Bitcoin about it, but we are not sure. So this is like a maybe kind
That's
of
okay.
situation.
well,
This is exciting.
We would love to have updates. So where can we find y'all on the socials so we can look out for this announcement should it come to pass?
So we have a bunch of social media.
So, but we have our shared Instagram.
Damn confusing.
Yeah, so our shared Instagram, it's called Calle y Poché, CALLEYPOCHE. Or you can find me as Daniela Calle, and you can find her
And
as
you can
Poché.
find me as Poché.
Yeah,
That's the important stuff. Let's keep it.
yeah, just let's keep it like that. Then if you can go to the rest of social media with the same names, and you'll probably find us.
Yeah, totally.
Probably,
Fabulous.
maybe. Most definitely.
Maybe.
Well, thank you guys so much again for joining us for this Pride Music Podcast interview. We're so happy to have you guys.
We
Thank
love
you
it.
so much. We
Thank
love
Have a
it.
great rest of your day.
Yes, thank you so
Thank
much. We
you.
can't wait to see the updates.
Yay.
Happy Pride.
Happy
Happy
Pride.
Pride.
Take care.
I love them. What can
They're
I say?
they're literally some of the sweetest people on the planet. Like it was such a pleasure getting to meet them.
And
Truly.
y'all, we appreciate the chat's been blowing up. Like we appreciate everybody translating in the chat. So thank you so much. It Gets Better is working on how to get translation and captions on this episode's upload to YouTube. So thank you again. Big ups to the chat. Y'all are really being the heroes of the day. So shout out chat.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for all that work that you did. And thank you for just joining us and like popping in, even though like it wasn't as copacetic and whatever. But thank you so much.
And also, Tayler, yeah, protect your peace 100%.
Listen, and they both, and I really got it from both of them because they were saying the same thing. They were like, you know, you have to kind of protect yourself or insulate yourself from people that are going to try to bring you down, because there's always going to be those types of people, especially during Pride Month. But
100%.
beyond that as well, it's like you have to protect your peace first and foremost, whatever that means for you, you know? And so I hope that like people take that with them.
I really love that they had such great advice of how to deal with the haters, which is just don't engage, protect that peace. Also, like, can we do a drop, a pronoun horoscope sign drop in the chat? Please, y'all drop your pronouns and your sign.
And your zodiac sign, please.
Yeah, zodiac sign. A horoscope is not a zodiac sign. Okay.
I mean, look, if you want to drop your horoscope, you can, because I'm nosy.
Drop your horoscope. We're here to help.
But thank you guys so much for joining us for that interview. And now we can move into our next segment, which is the Queer Current.
Y'all, we know that the news never stops. So we are here with the 5 news stories that you cannot miss this week.
And we've cultivated them so that they talk a lot about pride. And so
yes,
the first story that we have, we are talking about the amazing, iconic Kesha. She has said that, you know, she's neither gay or straight. She's somewhere in the middle. It's very nebulous for her. It's never been like one thing or another. And like, she's just really in love with people. And personally, as someone who's like on the bisexual, like pansexual spectrum, I really appreciated kind of her approach of being like, you know, it's really about the energy of a person. It's really about like how I am able to communicate with that person that makes them important to me. I think that moving away from labels is in and of itself also productive in queerness, you know, like, because you don't have to be one thing at all times. Like, things change. Gender is fluid, sexuality is fluid, all of that.
I also agree. And that's something really good to remember too, is like, sexuality is fluid, and you don't have to hold yourself to that one that one label. Like you can wake up tomorrow and be like, I think I'm bisexual, or I think I'm gay or pansexual. And that's great. You should feel celebrated. You should do what you want.
Absolutely.
The second news story is Buzz Lightyear. Disney Pixar, the new movie, y'all know Buzz Lightyear, the movie about the show that a toy, Tayler.
This is
you
so much before we started the show. So the movie it's the movie that inspired the making of the toy and inspired Andy to want the toy. So it's like a movie about the character, like the movie character Buzz Lightyear in this movie is what inspired the toy Buzz Lightyear being made.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's what I was trying to say, but then you said it.
Yeah. The important part about this is that there is a beautiful same-sex Black couple in this film, and that the Pixar animation studio was able to restore a lot of the scenes with them in it, especially the kissing scene, because before they had taken them out, and so they were able to restore it, which is great.
I think this is like really important too, to see like and normalizing same-sex relationships in animation and movies, and you know, showing this at kind of like, you know, this is a younger, like this movie is primarily based for a younger demographic, even though I'm going to be watching it. And to see like if I was a kid, to like see a same-sex kiss on the screen and normalize it and not have it be scandalous, I would have lost my mind. So this especially is huge too, with like Disney, you know, months ago they were like, we don't know, and now they're like, yes. So totally, I was like super stoked to read that. The other thing I'm excited about is our next story. A Sacramento church is offering support to the members of the LGBTQIA plus community in Sacramento, and this church is proudly displaying and hanging the rainbow flag, the pride flags off of their church, and they're welcoming people with open arms. I think this is so special and wonderful.
Absolutely. It reminds me of that Vatican story we ran 2 weeks ago, in which there were churches in the Vatican, you know, also celebrating queer people in Pride Month in general. And I think that there are so many queer people that find their community and their home in houses of worship and in places of faith. And I think that it's great that these places are being vocal about the support they feel for the community. Because like you can like feel it without it being said, but for them to take like an actual stance and be like, no, like we're here for the community, we're here for LGBTQIA individuals, like that is really a beautiful, loud declaration of acceptance that I really appreciated.
I super appreciate it too. Like I, you know, personally speaking, grew up in a religious household, and now like hearing these churches and different faith-based organizations and faith-based practices opening up for LGBTQIA members, I'm like, yes, like celebrate it, let it be a home. Speaking of homes, let's talk about my home state, Texas, and this next news story.
It's good news this time though.
What a great segue. So San Francisco, San Antonio Pride right now is popping off. Like they are spotlighting so many LGBTQIA members and community organizations in San Antonio. And it's like, especially like since the news in Texas is not always so pride positive, gay positive, this is like kind of like a nice, like, no, we're here. We're not going anywhere, and we're going to be celebrated and feel celebrated.
Absolutely. I will say.
Oh no, I just have to mention this. Skittle Farts 91. I do have to commend you on your name, Skittle Farts. Hells yes, intersectionality. Yes, 100%. We're here from that, you know, like.
Right. I do hear you though, Skittle Farts, on the like being happy for the younger people that get it, but also being a little bitter about it. Just a little bit. Or just being like, I wish that I had it.
I know. Back when I was young.
But I do love the intersectionality of it all, because like, especially as a Black person, like because there was such a lack of queer representation, there was even less of like queer people of color. And so that was really important to me and mattered a lot to me as well with this film, which is why the restoration of a lot of like the more tender scenes between the two spouses or two partners was like really, really beautiful to me. So absolutely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, NYC is popping off. Skill Sparks 91. Wow.
Yeah, okay. Honestly, the chat's popping off. And I forgot to say my zodiac sign and I'm they, them, Gemini. So this is why this behavior is so chaos.
Major.
Like,
I'm a she-her Capricorn. Yeah.
And that's why you're so grounded and you just get things done.
I try my best. But anyway, we're gonna move. Oh, I wanted to say, if you are gonna be in San Antonio Pride and you go to the Six Flags, make sure you bring water and hydrate. It's very hot there. I've been there. It's very, very hot.
And I'm gonna say this: sunscreen.
Absolutely.
Reapply your sunscreen. Also, Delvineth, pardon me if I'm mispronouncing your screen name. Welcome to the party. We're so happy you're here. Our last news story, though, like we gotta focus. This is Gemini energy right now. Like, let's focus.
Oh, yeah, our last news story is about an executive order signed by President Joe Biden that would provide protections for LGBTQIA people, particularly youth. You can Google it and like see what the actual bill is, but to consolidate, it just provides a lot of protection for LGBT people. Specifically, the biggest part of the bill for me that stood out was that he wants to discontinue federally funded conversion therapy, which if you don't know what conversion therapy is, I'm happy for you that you don't. Mm-hmm. But it is basically a form of quote unquote therapy that is meant to, help people not be gay anymore or queer anymore. And it doesn't work. It's been psychologically proven not to work. And it's actually very detrimental for the people that go through this therapy. So for Joe Biden to take the step and say, we're not going to be funding this as a country anymore, we're not going to be funding this as a government anymore, it's, I think, a very positive, large step for progress, I think.
I agree 100%. Like, and I know that it's kind of a heavier note to like really address like conversion therapy because it is a scary thing that's going on in the world, but we hope that you see that while there are scary things happening in the world, mm-hmm. there are also so many more things happening to celebrate you, and to celebrate and help LGBTQIA members have equal rights and like with this administration, like this executive order kind of enforcing those rights, right? And we hope you just feel good. Yeah. That's my hope for you after this. Yeah. And, like we said, the news could be a lot, but guess what we got right now?
That's what we got right now.
We got Stream Cleanse.
We sure do. So as we said, we actually have a 2-for-1 deal this show. We had our interview with Calle y Poché, which was fabulous. And we also did an interview with musician mxmtoon. There's a motorcycle outside my house. Please don't be like this.
There's a motor. You're like, well, pardon me. There's a motorcycle outside of my house.
mxmtoon is a fabulous young musician. They just got off their North American European tour, and now they're that leg of the tour. And now she's going to Australia, New Zealand, and a bunch of other places on that side of the world. But she stopped by and talked to us in her busy schedule.
It was awesome. And I just want to make sure I got this right. Like, we had the pleasure of speaking with mxmtoon, thanks to our friends at American Eagle, who introduced us. American Eagle has been a partner of It Gets Better since 2017. That is 6 years with American Eagle and It Gets Better. And since then, together, we have raised over $3 million for It Gets Better, including fully funding a new initiative that launched this year called 50 States, 50 Grants, 5,000 Voices. to support school-based projects across the country that support and connect LGBTQ plus youth. We think the world of the work that American Eagle has been doing, as well as mxmtoon. So without further delay, here's the interview.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. We're so excited. We've got mxmtoon with us today. And as always, we always start with our names and pronouns. I'm Ever. I go by they, them.
I'm Tayler. I go by she, her.
And I'm Maya. I go by she, her too.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
It's good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm excited to chat with you both today.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, we're excited too.
Same.
How's your pride going?
It's good. I mean, like, I just got off tour, and so I feel like the gayest thing I could have done was be surrounded by a bunch of gay people every single night on stage. So I had a great time. I've been having a great time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So in our last show, actually, in our last stream, we watched one of your music videos, Mona Lisa, which was beautiful, by the way. We talked like a little bit at length of like how much we liked like the parallels of different artwork and stuff like that. And so we were kind of wondering like, you know, what was your inspiration? Like, what was it like making that video?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I had so much fun filming that video, first of all, because clearly it's, like, super fun when you get to play dress up for an entire day with a bunch of people that are also creatively minded, and, like, you get to just basically have fun with everybody. But it was really fun to make it, because I think, you know, so much of my experience growing up, I never really saw myself reflected in, like, major forms of media, whether that was TV shows or music or movies or artwork. And so it was really fun for me to be able to think about, okay, how do I envision myself in these spaces that I didn't necessarily see myself in when I was kind of growing up and discovering my identity and understanding who I was. And so it was fun. I mean, to even do something like calling yourself the Mona Lisa and reimagine what that painting looks like with your own face instead was a lot of fun. So I think selfishly, it was a fun time to be able to come up with these ideas of these pieces of work that I really loved and get to insert myself into them instead.
That's
I wouldn't call it selfish.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it
selfish.
I mean,
I feel very gifted.
Definitely.
I'd call it artistic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask, are you wearing your mxmtoon XAE merch?
I am. I got it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to rep the
Yes.
merchandise and everything, but I mean, these shirts are super comfortable, so I have been wearing them a lot ever since we did the actual shoot for it. They like tailored the shirts for me on the set, so like they fit me perfectly, so I've been wearing them a lot. Yeah.
We love a tailored shirt.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you did that as like a Pride crossover, right? Like, can you like tell us more about it or show off your shirt a little bit more?
Absolutely.
Like,
so it's got this front pocket, which my friend Juliet says is the greatest idea that ever happened. Any shirt with a pocket automatically gets an A+. But it's really cute. It has one of the slogans from the campaign, "Be You," besides "Color Your Own Rainbow," which was something that I said that they applied to the shirts and everything. But this one's really cute too.
that's cool.
And it has
That's awesome.
like the Pride rainbow on it, and underneath it says "Color Your Own Rainbow." So it's got the little kind of slogan underneath it. But on the back, it's got like
That's-
a bigger version. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
yeah.
see it.
There we go.
dope.
But it's really cute. I like it a lot, and it's pink, which is my favorite color.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
Win-win.
I love that you paired with like American Eagle because they're like such big supporters of the queer community. Like they do so much. I was like stoked. I was like, okay, here we go.
It was
Absolutely.
so
Any
much fun.
company that is like does stuff for our community, I'm ready to give them my dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very cool merch that you have going with them. That's
It was
awesome.
really sweet.
Yeah.
It was a super fun design process too. I mean, like that team is incredible group of creatives, and so it was really cool to kind of see the inner workings of what it even means to make a T-shirt and kind of the different pieces of information they take into account. So super fun, even from like I am curious about how everything works, so I got to just kind of get the inner workings of clothing design.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
So, you're gay. You know what I mean? I'm just okay. I don't know how to segue to the next question, so I was like,
I
but
feel
I'm
like that's a
wondering
great
if
way to
we-
segue. I think you nailed it.
No, thank you. But like me and Ever and our viewers, you know, we talk a lot about like what it was like to come out and like, you know, like how that kind of like shifted like our lives and everything, and like for you know, and so I'm wondering like coming out, like how was that for you, like you know, as an individual?
Well, I'm gay, and so.
Okay.
No way. Are we all gay? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. So
God.
oh my gosh.
This is a new segment, so you're
You're gay?
You're
I'm
gay.
gay? We're all gay. Oh my goodness. So I really remember like my coming out very vividly. I still feel like it was kind of yesterday. I came out in 2017, so I guess that's 5 years ago now. So I've been like out for a little while in the grand scheme of my life. It's been a while, but in the grand scheme of everything, it hasn't. But I remember the day, it was like October 2017. I was a junior in high school, and I was working on the PSATs. Yeah, I'm a baby. And so I was working on my PSAT to like try and figure out, you know, am I going to go to college? And my mom walked into the room, and I had been kind of ruminating on like, how do I talk to my mom about the fact that I had realized I was bisexual that year? And how do I like let her into this piece of my identity? And it was really terrifying, and I remember I started crying because I just didn't know how to tell my mom, and my mom was like, what's up with you? Like, what's going on? And I told her that I was really stressed out about the PSAT because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it into college. And my mom was like, clearly that's not the actual root of why you're crying and you're really, like, stressed out right now. What else is going on? And so I told her, I was like, well, okay, I'm bi. And I, like, freaked out and started crying more, and my mom was like, okay, cool, thanks for telling me that information. And then my dad walked in, and we updated him on that too. But it was really terrifying. I knew both my parents were going to be really accepting of it, but yeah, it was really scary. But I still remember it really vividly, and I find it hilarious that my first idea was to just tell my mom that I was really stressed out about a standardized test instead of actually telling her my sexuality.
I feel like we're sisters, okay, because same. I was like, maybe they'll just think that I'm really stressed with life and they'll leave me alone.
I love that you remembered the date. I don't remember the date. But granted, like a newspaper outed me, so.
I mean, I guess that means you could find the date. Though, if you went back in the archive.
Yeah. So the newspaper was like, this Wednesday, Okay, so now that it's Pride Month, what does like Pride Month mean to you? Like, how do you celebrate it year round?
I would say like my biggest way of celebrating is really through storytelling. I feel like that's so much of queer identity is about understanding the experiences of other queer people. And I mean, even just like when I mentioned I just got off tour, and it was so wonderful to be surrounded by a group of people every single night that my 17-year-old closeted self would have absolutely killed to be in. Like, I think, you know, it's such a healing piece of my job that I get to have this experience of performing to a group of individuals that are so proud about who they are, and in turn inspire me to be really proud about who I am too. I think, you know, for me, celebrating Pride year round is about constantly finding those spaces and being able to uplift other queer people to feel safe to express themselves and be who they are. And I feel really lucky that I get to do that through my job. It's really awesome.
That's so beautiful.
Super cool.
That is so beautiful. So you're a musician. All of
the segues are just so.
So but you're a musician, and I would venture to say a very accomplished one.
Thank you.
Your music is really, really great. And so, like, where do you kind of like draw inspiration from? Like, who do you look to for inspiration, and like how do you like kind of go through your artistic process as a musician?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I never really had like formal training for how to write music or write songs. It was, I guess, like the most formal training I had was when I was 12, and the music class that I was taking required me to write a song, and that was about it. And from then on, it's kind of just been like a process of discovering what works best for me. And I think through that I've realized that I don't really have like a lot of inspirations, because a lot of the people, well, there wasn't a lot of representation for me to look to and feel inspired by. I think even with like bisexuality as an identity, it wasn't really something that I saw a lot of positive examples of representation for growing up. And so I think, you know, when it comes to my own music, a lot of the ways that I find inspiration is by figuring out how do I fill that hole of that, you know, representation and identity that I didn't necessarily have. And so I try my best to kind of like, I guess it all comes down to like healing your inner child. So I write songs that I would have really loved to like hear when I was 16 trying to figure out who I was. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I love that. I'm all about like loving kindness and like loving kindness meditation. I'm like, yes. So your inner child is gay. What next?
I love that.
So, okay, kind of on that note of like finding your inspiration and like going for it and telling stories, like what kind of what words of advice do you have for kind of someone who's looking for a way to express themselves that might be a little shy, or maybe they're outgoing but feeling like directionless.
I got what you were trying to say. I think you nailed it.
Directionalist.
I feel like the
Thank you
biggest
so
piece
much.
of advice
Okay.
is like, you are the. It's so simple, but I think like you're the narrator of your whole entire story, and how you decide to tell that is completely up to you. I think sometimes we can feel super stressed out and inundated by the information of people telling us that we have to be a certain way, we have to talk a certain way, we have to do a certain amount of whatever in order to kind of be valid in our identity or whatever it is that we're trying to figure out. And I think for me that was also like a big thing that stopped me early on, was thinking like, am I even queer enough to talk about my queerness? Like, is that even something that I'm allowed to do? And to be in a space of other queer people, am I allowed to speak up and talk about my story? And I think for other people who are trying to figure out, you know, how do they express themselves and, you know, be creative and make art based off of something that they're trying to figure out, is that there isn't a right answer. I think being able to feel like you have the freedom to explore and express who you are in whatever means that makes sense, whether it's through painting or songwriting, and whether it's even through a song, you know, talking about a first kiss, or somebody talking about like a long-term relationship. Like, those are just different experiences, but both of them are valid. So don't overthink it. Just do what feels right to you, and you'll find your way.
Heavy on the don't overthink it. Please don't.
Yeah.
Do not put too much
that.
thought into it. But don't be reckless. Oh my gosh. Please. There's kids, you know, and they're like, oh, I don't think about it at all. Got it. And you're like, please.
Slow down.
Right.
You're like, don't be reckless. Taylor, you're
But now for something completely different. We're moving into our
Canonically
favorite
queer.
segment of the show. It's Canonically Queer. This is a segment on our show where we ask our wonderful guests who have spent so much of their time with us what the queerest object around them or in their house is. So what's the queerest object in this room with you right now?
Oh my, I feel like there's a couple things that stick out to me, some that are more obvious than others. I mean, literally to the left of me, I have a pride flag that has my artist name on it. I made it like 2 years ago for Pride, and I've had it there ever since then. I feel like that's very queer. And then another thing that's like kind of maybe less obvious, I have lots of Legos everywhere. I feel like
Legos are gay.
Legos are really, really gay. I
Legos
specifically plant Legos. I'm obsessed with their botanical series. I've built nearly every single set that I can get my hands on. That feels like also kind of on par with the pride flag. Feels like a pride flag in a different sense, you know? I'm very proud of my Legos.
Legos are so queer. Yes. Yes, they are.
I'm glad you agree, yeah.
Really.
Lego started queer.
And listen,
Nobody was.
you don't
for
choose your
Legos.
sexuality. You either understand the box of Legos that was given to you at 6 years old, or you don't. Or you don't.
Or you don't. Okay, so you just had an album drop May 20th, right? Where can people find this album? What is it called? Like, do you have like any like, I know you just said you got off of tour, but do you have any more tours coming up?
I do. A mixture of things going on. So, I mean, the album is called Rising. You can find it anywhere you listen to music. It's basically just kind of, it feels like a letter to my younger self and kind of everything that she would have loved to hear growing up. And I feel like it's very healing. So if you want to listen to it and check it out, you totally should. And I just finished my US North America leg of the tour, but I'm going to Australia, New Zealand, and Europe later this fall.
That's cool.
So that way I can do the international leg. But I'll be playing shows, and I'm at the Heads and Clouds Festival in August in LA. So if people want to check me out there,
That's
too.
so exciting. Have a good time on
I'm
tour.
anywhere. I'm everywhere.
Okay, and I'm going on tour.
I'm gay. That's how I'll do the next announce. Hey everybody, I'm gay and I'm going on tour.
Going on tour.
Oh, and where can people find you on the socials? You know, give you a cute little follow, all of that.
Anywhere, everywhere at mxmtoon. Very simple, very straightforward. I'm there. I'm probably tweeting a ridiculous amount, TikToking a ton. Instagramming a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't escape me.
At all.
sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way it is. And we don't want to escape you. Like,
Good.
we
Good.
need
You're stuck with
more
me.
content. Well, thank you so much for joining
This was
us
super fun.
and all of these laughs. This was so fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I don't often get to talk
Absolutely.
about my Lego collection, so I'm really happy that I got the chance.
Oh, yeah. Post those Legos. We want to see them.
Bye.
Well, thank you all so much. And bye.
I love her so much.
So you're gay.
You're a musician, right?
So honestly, we have to have a new segment called
So you're gay.
You're gay.
What
Pop up
was
in the chat if you're gay.
yeah, let us know. You know, it's a very unique trait here on this particular podcast. So we have also found out that we have a lot of Leos.
Yeah, shout out to the Leos.
Shout out to the Leos for sure. Also, yeah, you guys, there is a Lego Botanical series, and it's amazing. You should definitely check it out. They're really, really cool. And I'm not gonna say they look realistic, but I'm saying they look very nice. They're a nice addition to an apartment. I'm going to probably get some, so I would definitely.
I would say that, yeah, Legos are Legos have been queer. Lego started queer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But thank you so much to mxmtoon for taking that time with us. And as you guys heard, like, she has a new album out that dropped in May. It's amazing. Definitely go check that out. If you're in New Zealand or Australia or any places that she mentioned, maybe perhaps go see her on tour. But I guess we have to move into our next segment.
Yes, y'all, it's the Converse Quick Hit.
The Converse Quick Hit.
So the Converse Quick Hit is where we look at. So we're gay. Anyway,
you're gay.
The Converse Quick Hit is where we look at trends, friends, and odds and ends on the corners of the internet. We're gonna start with friends. This mom is how enthusiastic all people should be about the queer people in their lives. Check it out.
I support the LGBTQ and all the other alphabet.
Daughter and a gay son. Yes, gay life.
My son is fucking gay and I love it. Yeah. My LG is here. Lesbian and gay.
Mother, are you homophobic?
Number 1, you're gay. Number 2, I have a lesbian daughter. Number 3, I watch RuPaul's Drag Race. How can I be homophobic, idiot? This one? Yeah, that's Chick-fil-A. So did you know that your brother is a gay?
L.
Lesbian.
G.
You.
B.
Bisexual.
T.
Transgender.
There's a Q, right?
Yes, queen!
No, it's queer!
Yes, queen!
Yes, queen! I'm petitioning to have a change to that.
I'm trying to get her on as a guest.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, hi, lady underscore 2003. Sirs, how you doing?
How you doing? Welcome to the chat. You're just in time for trends, y'all. It is a crop top summer. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Look at me.
Throwback.
Wear the crop top. Wear the crop top. Wear the crop top.
The ones with the backs out too.
And if somebody says something about your rolls, tell them they better have some butter, preferably salted.
Heavy on that, preferably salted for sure.
I'm gonna start wearing crop. I'm gonna cut my shirts. In a
Listen,
crop top.
I'm wearing a crop top right now.
I've actually never worn a crop top. But
Really?
I think I might start wearing the crop top.
Ever.
Top gun
It's too
style.
hot. It's too hot for full shirts. I'm so sorry. It really is. It's too hot for that.
Oh my God. Look at genius. Salted butter. Yes.
But now we're gonna move into the last little segment, odds and ends. And here we're slowing it down a little, some inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
If it costs you your piece, it's too damn expensive. You are wasting your time. It's getting excessive. Show some love to yourself. It's far more impressive. The right ones will be there, and that is the lesson. If it costs you your piece, It's too damn expensive. You are wasting your time. It's getting excessive. Show some love to yourself. It's far more impressive. The right ones will be there, and that is the lesson. I tell you once and I tell you again, know your worth.
Period.
100%. And the right ones will be there.
Truly. I want that as a ringtone, actually. That would be amazing.
I want that as like an inner voice playing nonstop. Like, oh yeah.
The beat was fire. I commend her.
Y'all, this has been the Converse Quick Hit. We're super glad you're here. And before we go into our queerly creative video from Zolita, we've got another bonus stream cleanse for you.
Are you comfortable? Awesome. You can love whoever you want. Love knows no bounds. You are uniquely you. There's no shame in that. You are uniquely you. There's no shame in that. Even if you can't be proud of who you are right now, I hope you can learn to accept and love yourself the way I accept and love you. You are you, and that is amazing. No matter when you started learning about yourself. Even if you don't feel it, you are loved and you matter. Never forget that. Watch the full ASMR video on my YouTube channel.
Hello. If you guys are just joining us in the chat, if you're joining us on the stream, my name is Taylor, the semi-friendly neighborhood bisexual, here to express joy.
I'm ever your chaotic butch best friend, here to help you feel celebrated and also pumped up.
And we're gonna need that energy. We're gonna need that energy because now we're moving into the queerly creative, and we got to talk to Zolita. Her interview will be at our next show on July 6th. Is that correct? But before then, we wanted to just spotlight her work. She recently performed at LA Pride with like Christina Aguilera and Anita and a bunch of other amazing iconic queer artists. And she has since also released a trio of videos, which I definitely recommend going to watch like in sequence. But we're gonna show one of her videos called Single in September.
Hi, Perfectly Queer, it's Olita. I'm so excited to share with you my music video, Single in September. If you like it, you can go also check out my new music video for my song, I Fucking Love You, on YouTube now.
We had a hot, hot summer. Wish it would last forever. Laying in bed together with you. But I'm single in September when I didn't wanna be. Kinda thought that when I left you would come running after me. So why wait when we could have forever? Yeah, we could have forever. That's what you'd say. Said we shouldn't rush it. Meet up again after we kiss some girls or we live some life. We'll know if this thing is really right.
I can't. It's just like I can't do this. Like, we're both leaving.
I know, but why wouldn't we spend every last second that we have together?
Because every time I'm with you, I think about us ending.
It doesn't have to end. Like, I can come visit you. You can come visit me.
Zoe, be realistic.
Okay.
too fucking realistic.
But I'm single in September when I didn't wanna be. Kinda thought that when I left you would come running after me. You would make this shit official. Rom-com girl with a bouquet. And it would be just like the 90s, kissing you in the pouring rain, saying, we could have forever. Yeah, we could have forever. That's what you'd say. We could have forever. Yeah, we could have forever. I wish that's what you'd say. I can't put my heart on hold. I can't wait until we're old. Cause you are the love, the love, the love. You are the love of my life. Can you stop pretending like you don't wanna be mine? So wait when we could have forever. Yeah, we could have forever. That's what you'd say. We could last forever. Yeah, we could last forever, forever. You are the love, the love, the love. You are the love of my life. You are the love, the love, the love. You are the love of my life. Wish that's what you'd say. Wish that's what you'd say. Wish that's what you'd say.
It's such a good music video.
Okay, Ari Luna was like, "Why am I crying?" I was
Me.
literally zoning off during the song, and I was like, "Wait, I'm crying on the inside." So you are seeing Ari Luna. Thank you for seeing me.
Yeah. Also, Ari Luna, absolutely the color design. 'Cause, like, you see throughout the whole. I'm sorry, I'm a media scholar, so it's like you see throughout the whole thing that they're very separate in their color design, the black and pink. But by the end, they've meshed each other's not only colors but stylistically they've meshed, you know, their own personal styles with each other, which shows like the cohesion of their love, which I was like, wow. Zolita, because she like writes and directs and produces her videos.
Edited
so, like,
too.
Yeah, and edits them. So like she like is really like doing the creative process. And so like
I mean, talk about queerly creative.
Truly, honestly,
Truly.
I can't even understand like that sort of undertaking as an artist.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's
massive.
amazing.
And again, like Zolita will be here on July 6th. The interview is incredible. And this whole video series that she's done, like it's like a 3-part movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's very, very well done. And I mean, we always love like sapphic, lesbian, like representation, especially one that's like so positive. Also has like that 90s nostalgia, like
oh my God,
like,
yes.
Skittles Part 91. Like, because like we didn't really get that sort of like aesthetic and queerness, it's great to see like people our age being able to like call back in their artistry and like give us that imagery that we like so crave as like young people, I think.
Tayler, I gotta call this out. Ari Luna just chatted, film degree coming in handy.
It really is.
I was like, I was like, Dr. Tayler, tell us some more, you know, Professor Tayler.
Hopefully, yes. But thank you guys so much for joining us for the Critic Creative. And now we're going to go into our next segment. Let's start.
Welcome back. It is time to chat about it. We are always here to help you live your most authentic, perfectly queer life and to help you find community. And here in the living room, we are family. Family. So you're family. So we have two questions from the chat that we are going to be answering today. And like always, we love reading your questions in the chat. If we don't get to them today, don't be discouraged because we can answer them in a future episode. So please, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We would love to answer them. We would love to offer you stories from our own personal experiences. The first question that we have today is, how has music inspired your queer journey?
Great question. I think mine starts, okay, this is a bit of a story. When I was 12, I got this really great opportunity to travel abroad with this ambassadorship program. And so it was like me and like 20 or 30 other kids from the United States. And we went to Europe. It was really, really cool. Don't know why they let a bunch of 12-year-old Americans go to Europe, but that is neither here nor there. But we traveled in a bus, like a Greyhound bus, for most of that trip, and it did not have Bluetooth. Like this was 2009, I think. So like Bluetooth wasn't really a thing. Like the little iPod connecting thing wasn't really a thing. Like CDs were still very much the norm. And so we didn't have any CDs, obviously. And so our counselors went to a gas station and they got Queen's Greatest Hits.
Oh, wow.
And we listened to that the whole 2-week trip that we were out there. And so I know that album like front to back, but it like threw me into the deep end with Freddie Mercury. And I learned about like, not only his queerness, but like him as a man of color. And that really like catapulted me into like seeking out queer artistry. Yeah. What about you, Ever?
Number one, I love that story. And I love how when you were like, when I was 12, I was a part of an ambassadorship. And I was like, when I was 12, I was barefoot in a field. Like, I grew up in rural Texas. Two different Capricorn, Gemini energy.
But
right
we're in
here.
the same place, so it's fine.
Yeah, Logue, how Capricorn of you, Taylor, 100%.
Leave me alone. I was trying to share my story with you all.
So it's such a beautiful story. Like, I wanna say that Enya was my queer awakening. But I need to be honest with you all thinking about this. There's a song by The Cars. It's like this old band called The Cars. And there's a song called Just What I Needed. And it's kind of like this cool guy talking about this girl coming around. And when I was like 12, you know, even younger than that, I would imagine that I was a guy singing that to a girl.
Classic.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is all starting to make sense now. Like 12-year-old me was like, Top Gun is like a soap opera or like a romance novel written by like a man, you know what I mean? Like,
no, literally.
Like a cishet man's, macho man's idea of like a romance novel, but young me was like, yeah, pump up the Cars. I think the Cars is what helped me realize, like.
I mean, you do love your Bronco. I'm surprised. This is the first time we mentioned it the whole show. Wow.
I didn't want to be the first one to mention it all the time, so it's quite nice.
No, let me bring it up for you. Ever has a beautiful car.
Also, I don't know what this is. I think I just felt really vulnerable talking about how I was barefoot in a field, and I was like, of all the things to feel vulnerable about, being barefoot in a field, okay.
Honestly, sometimes I wish I was just barefoot in the field. Like, that seems like such a simple life. Like,
pop up in the chat if you're barefoot in the field.
Mentally or physically, you know? But our second question is, even though it's Pride Month, which we love, we all have moments where we feel down on ourselves. How do you move through these moments? What an easy question.
For me, I like to do loving kindness meditations, and in some spiritual practices called Maitri meditation. But I sit down and I imagine that I'm talking to my inner child and sometimes my present self, and I say all the things I love about myself, even the things that people are like, well, why would you love being grumpy? I love myself when I'm grumpy. So sometimes it's nice to like sit down and like, hey, you're grumpy. That's okay. I love you still. There are no bad emotions. There are no and that was like a hard thing to like really, realize. What about you?
Great question. I think what for me is that like understanding that I won't always feel that way. Like it will pass. Yes. I think that a lot of the time with me, it would turn into this thing where I would spiral because I'm like, I'm literally always going to feel like this. It's never going to end, like, And I have to like consistently remind myself that I have had times like this and they have ended, and I have been able to come out the other side a more thoughtful and kind person. And so with that, it's just like journaling, like keeping track of that so that you're able to recall. Because like that's what's really hard when you're like in the throw of those moments. Usually it's just being able to ground yourself and understanding that like this is just like it might be longer than you think it is, but it is temporary. Like you can see yourself out of it. And so like being able to recall that is really, really important for me. And like times like that, I think.
Yeah, I love that, Tayler. I think that's like so important, even too on a week-to-week basis, if not even a day-to-day basis. Write down your accomplishments.
Absolutely.
Right? They could be big or small. You drank 8 glasses of water today. Great. That's an accomplishment.
Lot. I don't drink that much water.
That's a lot of water.
I need to drink more.
But baby steps of being nice to yourself. But I just want to say thank you all again for these incredible questions. We are always here for you, and we can all learn so much from each other and from each other's stories. And remember, if you have more questions, try checking out the It Gets Better website at itgetsbetter.org. There are tons of stories, tools, videos, and other answers to commonly asked questions that can help you on your journey.
Absolutely. And speaking of the It Gets Better project, we are going to move into our next segment, Thriving and Alivin'. This is Thriving and Enliven with It Gets Better project. As my wonderful co-host said, the It Gets Better project has a bunch of resources on their website, and they have recently been doing a lot of video series on their website for queer people to like gain more information about different identities and different ways to navigate queerness. And this month they have partnered with Freeform, which is amazing, and they've reached out to different creators across the country, and I think a few globally.
I wonder if we'll see anybody we recognize on these videos. Perhaps.
Before we get into that, we're going to talk with someone who's going to talk about what age you should come out.
When is the correct time to come out? Never or right now? Hi, I'm Sean, and I'm a queer educator in addition to a Twitch and YouTube partner. And when I came out at 14, I struggled because my community did not have the education that they needed to support me. I came out at 14 due to my cousin passing away at 13 from leukemia. When he passed away, I was worried that my life was going to be cut short, and I needed to make sure that I was living my most authentic life. I wish that I educated my friends, family, and community on ways to support me, and I wish I had a support system who knew how to take care of my mental health. At age 14, I felt that I didn't have a choice. I had to come out regardless of what was going to happen. I needed to make sure that I was living my truth throughout my entire life. In my life, through education, I found acceptance and tolerance from the people that I interacted with. This led me to publish a paper in 2017 on how education affects both acceptance and tolerance for bisexual men. My goal now is to end the cycle for queer youth so they don't have to go through the same problems that I went through when I was their age. In growing my communities on these platforms, I've been able to connect with so many people worldwide and help educate them on what it's like to be queer, in addition to what queer joy can feel like, and to also just be a role model for anyone who sees any ounce of my content.
I love that. I do. it is sad to me that this person felt like they had to come out, you know, because there wasn't really a lot of recourse. And so I love that they're kind of like, it is what it is. You know, you come out when you come out, and you don't. And it really is like me and Ever talk about all the time on the show. Like, if you don't feel safe, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel like you'll be supported, there's no problem with like waiting to come out.
Yeah, you should come out when the time is right for you, my friends. Okay? 100%. And speaking of coming out, we have we're gonna watch this video from Ime as they came out bi.
This is actually my first Pride Month out as bi. I just wanted to share something of why I came out when I did. I would consider myself to be an indoorsy person and always online. And I've pretty much always been attracted to online communities. Honestly, the communities that I have found online are what have given me the courage and the support to finally come out. If you are an individual and you don't have that support system physically there with you, these online communities are there for you. Something really nice about it is that since it's not face-to-face, sometimes we're more able to be vulnerable with each other. If you are feeling especially isolated or alone in your experience right now, keep looking. Your people are out there. They are waiting with open arms. I hope everyone has a great rest of your Pride Month 2022, and thank you so much for listening.
I love that.
I love that. Also,
I love that Loga Genius. It's their first time celebrating Pride out too. Congrats.
I love that for you. I hope you're having a good month so far. I hope, like, if you've been going to events or whatever, I hope that they've been fun.
I hope you've been blasting the new Beyonce song up top. All the way, turn it up. We haven't even talked about Beyonce yet. I love that new song.
Break My Soul.
Yes.
I have been listening
Big Frida?
For Big Frida. Listen, because Big Frida was also on the Formation album. And like she was on Formation. And like that was the moment I was like, it's time. People are finally going to be up and applauding Big Frida. And I, if we have to do it again, we have to run it back because I didn't get enough of the hype the first time. I don't think you guys understand how influential Big Frida is as like a queer icon, as a bounce and house icon. Like, I could go on forever.
I believe I saw either Big Frida in Texas or Chicago Pride and lost my mind. But yeah, if you haven't listened to Break My Soul by Beyonce, Loga Genius, listen to it right now, turn it up and dance to it.
Dance.
You're gonna love it.
But
wait a second. Our last video, okay, so you're gay. Our last video of the series features someone you know.
Yeah.
One thing that really keeps me up at night is how can I, as an older queer person, be a resource to other queer people, to guide them through this journey that we call life, especially to guide them through their queerness. I grew up in a town called Colorado Springs, Colorado. When I was growing up in it, it was a pretty conservative area. Something that I wish I could say is that it's better to be kind than it is to be polite. The kind thing to do would have been to create a community of acceptance and of love and support, because at the end of the day, what we really need in order to get through this life is each other. I am constantly thankful for and wanting to be a support system for young people. When I see young queer people really leading the charge in advocacy for LGBTQIA issues, y'all are great. No notes. 10 out of 10. Keep living in your pride. Keep living your authentic lives this month and beyond.
And I mean that. I am so proud of young people all the time. I really
Honestly,
am.
I do want to say something or call out something you said in that video, Tayler, where you said, I wish I was kind and not polite. And the difference of, it's taken me a long time to learn the difference of being kind versus the difference of being polite. And
it's
and
kind of
setting
like,
up. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Finish. It's kind of like the difference between trouble and good trouble, you know?
Right.
Like there are moments where you have to let go of being polite in order to advocate for yourself, because that is the kind thing to do for yourself. And there are moments where you have to let go of, you know, constructs of politeness in social spaces in order to advocate for people who are being exploited from those spaces or who are being victimized in those spaces. And that really, really matters. And those are the moments that really separate. Those are the moments that stand out amongst marginalized people. Like, you know, like those are moments that are really, really important to the foundation of your self-esteem as a marginalized person. And so, yeah, kindness over politeness every single day.
Every day. Repeat it. Thank you, Taylor, for sharing that. Like, truly loved it. I honestly, I'm gonna text you to just DM me that video, or I'll just look at it on the itgetsbetter.org.
Or freeform if you would like.
Or freeform.
Yeah, this has been Thriving and Alive, and like Ever said at the beginning of the segment, all of these videos should be either available on It Gets Better Project social media, freeform social media, and then there are a wide variety of videos on the itgetsbetter.org that you guys should check out.
Y'all, thank you again for joining us. We have loved seeing y'all blow up the chat. We can't wait to see what you I don't want to say what you blow up next week or the week after. I can't wait to see like more like, let's get this So You're Gay segment popping off in the chat, because I truly loved seeing that back and forth. It was so fun. We are back on July 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have an incredible interview with Zolita that you do not want to miss.
It'll be so great. It's going to be so, so great. And as always, you know, if you weren't able to watch this live, you can find it here pre-recorded, but we also are going to put it on YouTube. And of course, once again, we have to thank our sponsor, the Humble Bundle community, for whom without we would not have the show. We would not be able to communicate with you guys. We would not be able to like hang out with each other every other Wednesday and have a great time. And so thank you so much, Humble Bundle community, for your generous contribution.
Well, Taylor, what is one thing you're taking away from this episode?
That's a great question. Protect your peace and always buy salted butter. Always. Never. I'm my father's daughter. You know, we don't buy unsalted butter in our house.
Who is buying unsalted butter?
Bakers, but I don't believe in that. As someone who bakes, I don't believe in that. Buy the salted butter. It's fine.
Buy the salted butter, wear the crop top, and protect your peace.
It's fine. Ever, what do you take?
I'm taking away crop top season. You know what? I've never worn a crop top. I think it's time to embrace the crop top and try it out for myself.
Yes, absolutely.
And to protect my peace and kindness over.
But you have to wear sunscreen. You have to wear sunscreen if you're gonna
sunscreen.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. It was so much fun. We can't wait to see you on July 6th.
Y'all stay perfectly queer.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.